research and analysis, from question to professional report. So, you know that feeling when someone asks you for a research report and you think, great, another 2 hours of Googling, reading, note taking, and wrestling with formatting. What if I told you Claude can do all of that in minutes and hand you a polished, professional document ready to share? And that's exactly what we are covering today. So, welcome back. In the last session, we talked about how Cowork transforms Claude from a chatbot into an actual task running agent on your desktop. Now, today, we are diving into one of the most powerful workflows Cowork makes possible: research and analysis at professional scale. Here is the reality: Claude has always been great at answering questions. But in Cowork, Claude also becomes a research partner that doesn't just answer, it searches, it synthesizes, it compares, and delivers all in one go. Now, think about the last time you needed a competitive analysis, a market research summary, or a breakdown of new tools in your industry. You probably spent time searching Google, opened tabs, read articles, took notes, tried to synthesize it all into something coherent, something meaningful, formatted it into a document, and worried you had missed something important. Now, what if steps 1 through 4 happened automatically? Well, that's what we are here for, the research workflow. So, let me walk you through how this actually works. In Cowork, when you give Claude a research task, it follows a repeatable pattern. And what is that? Step 1 is search, step 2 is fetch and read, step 3 is analyze and synthesize, and step 4 is the report delivery. Okay, so starting with step 1, search. You describe what you need. Claude uses the web research tool to scan the internet for relevant current information. And this is not random Googling. Claude understands your questions and researches strategically. So if you are researching top project management tools for remote teams in 2026, Claude doesn't just search that phrase. It understands you care about remote work, modern tools, and real world comparison. Step 2, it fetches and it reads. So Claude doesn't just grab search result snippets. It uses web fetch to actually read the full content of promising pages. And this is huge. It means Claude can read detailed feature breakdowns on official product pages, extract pricing information from current sources, understand nuanced comparisons and not just the headlines. Step 3, analyze and synthesize. And here is where Claude becomes a researcher, not a summarizer. It takes all that information and identifies patterns across sources, compares tools against criteria you specify, draws insights you probably wouldn't catch skimming articles, and flags where sources disagree and why. And step 4, it delivers the report, it creates the report. So Claude writes a formatted professional document, Word, PDF, or Markdown, that you can share immediately. Not a messy collection of notes, a real formatted report. You don't believe me? We'll find it out. So let me make this concrete. Say you work in HR and need to recommend a new HRIS platform for your 50% company. Okay. You care about pricing for mid-market teams, ease of use. Now, your team is not super technical. Integration with your existing Slack and Google Workspace, and compliance features like GDPR SOC 2. So instead of spending a day researching, you give Cowork this task. Research the top 5 HRIS platforms for mid-market companies, 25 to 100 employees in 2026. Compare them on pricing, ease of use. Okay, let me copy this prompt and take it to Claude Cowork. Here I am, paste it. Okay, and I hit enter. Now I run the task in Cowork and watch Claude what it does. It is reading the skill.md, loading the tools. It is doing setting up the infrastructure to begin the research. Now once that is done, just have a look at what it is going to do. It is creating some tasks. It is doing the thinking part right now. Let us wait a while. So these are the things that it is going to do. Research top 5 HRIS platforms, build recommendation metrics, generate the Word document, and verify and validate the final document. Now these are the 4 things that Claude Cowork is going to do. So it is searching the web. You see this? It is searching the web. These are the things that it has searched for. Good, I have some initial results. Let me do more targeted searches for each platform's specific features, prices, and integrations. Done. Now let me fetch more specific details on integrations, pricing, and compliance for each platform. It is once again searching the web. It is working on it. Now I now have enough research data. Let me also do a quick search for Paycor as a mid-market option since it was mentioned and confirm the top 5 platforms I will focus on. Now these are the 5 platforms that it is going to focus on and it is still doing the research. It has not given you the result. Now I have enough research. Let me synthesize the data for my top 5 platforms. Now let me compile the comprehensive comparison data and build the Word document. So all of this is happening in the background. You don't actually get to see it until you expand this. But all of this is happening in the background and you are going to get the final document. That's how easy and simple it is going to be. And it does not take more than a few minutes. So it did so much of research. Just have a look at it. It is still thinking, so probably it is creating the document for us. Okay, so for the recommendation metrics, I will focus on write the document setup. It has synthesized all the research data, and now it is writing the document setup. I'm setting up the landscape section for the comparison table. I need to configure the page dimensions for the recommendation scoring table. I am planning a 8-column layout with the criteria column. See, you see the depth of research, the depth of synthesizing, and the depth of all that it is doing. Building the complete document generation script, setting up the document styling, writing helper functions and data, working through a complex response. And we are kind of, I mean, it's close to getting done. Okay. 1 minute, 41 seconds. That's not much for this amount of research, I would say. Okay, let's come back to this. In the meantime, we can continue with the next part, that is data analysis and synthesis. Now, research isn't just web-based. Cowork also excels at upload a CSV or spreadsheet. Claude analyzes the trends, creates the charts, and identifies the patterns. You paste a data set. Claude finds outliers, correlations, and actionable insights. You combine the multiple sources. Claude synthesizes findings into a coherent narrative. You are essentially getting a research analyst who doesn't get tired. And if we talk about the quality multiplier, here is the pro tip that changes the game. Combine the research with document creation. So instead of find me information about X, try research X and then create a polished report comparing these 3 options. The multiplication happens because Claude does the research right the first time, no back and forth. You get the finished deliverable and not the raw notes. You can iterate on the document and not on the research. And if Claude's recommendation matrix doesn't format right, You can say make the table wider, add a best for column, and because now you're not researching, you are refining the output. Let's see if our report is ready. Not yet. Okay, so I have a pro tip for you. Give Claude your criteria upfront. Don't just say research project management tools. Instead, tell Claude exactly how to evaluate them. So compare on pricing per user, free tier availability, offline functionality, Gantt chart support, and time tracking integrations. Rank them by best value for small teams. Now, when Claude knows what matters to you, it researches smarter. It looks for those specific features instead of trying to read your mind. Is this done? Still taking time. Okay, so I have a practical task for you. So here is what I want you to try this week. Pick one research task you have been putting off. Now, if you're a student, the research could be about the best colleges. If you are a business owner, you can research about the product idea that you have. Doesn't really matter who you are, where you are. You must have something in your mind. You must have always wanted to research on something, maybe something, something real, obviously. A tool you are considering, a market you are curious about, a competitor you need to understand. Write it down with your evaluation criteria. Then open Cowork and give Claude the task. Don't overthink it. Just describe what you need to know and how you will use it, and watch what comes back. You will see the difference immediately. Oh, still creating. So, you get this, right? I will pause this because my tokens are being spent and it is going to take some time. To conclude, Cowork isn't just answering questions anymore. It is doing the research. Claude searches, fetches, analyzes, and synthesizes. The workflow is proven. Search, fetch, analyze, deliver. You can use it for competitive analysis, market research, tool evaluations, data analysis, and more. Give Claude your criteria upfront. The more specific your evaluation framework, the better the research. Combine research with document creation for finished deliverables in one shot. Now, this is the time multiplier. A 4-hour research project becomes a 15-minute co-work task. Here are the resources from Anthropic, and moving on. Now you know how to get Claude to do the research. But here is the challenge. What happens after your first research task? What if you run another task in co-work the next day? Will Claude remember what you care about? Will it remember the format you prefer? Spoiler, without projects, it won't. And that's exactly what we are fixing in the next lecture. Projects are how you give Claude persistent memory. So it gets better at helping you over time. Let's dive in.